John and Darin's office chairs provided by GT Omega Racing. You can check them out at gtomegaracing.com. Welcome to this week Inside Sim Racing, November 4th edition. I'm Darin Ganji, and next to me is my little chocolate lab friend. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want to wake him up. He's asleep right now. So hopefully it's going to work out having a video for you guys. Anyway, John, as you can see, is out of town, and he'll be back next week. So, John, if you're watching, hope you're having a great time out there. Oh, by the way, we would appreciate a thumbs up. I can't believe how many thumbs up we got last week just from saying that. So, while you're here in chat, we'd appreciate a thumbs up. So, that'd be much appreciated. So, that's going to be a huge milestone for us. So, first up, we've got, and I'm going to be a little all over the place since I'm alone here today. And subscribe to us here on YouTube if you haven't yet. We'd appreciate that as well. Coming up on 100,000 subscribers, and that's going to be a huge milestone for us. So, first up, we've got, and I'm going to be a little all over the place since I'm alone here today. We've got some dirt rally news, and I've got the trailer here. Love this trailer, by the way. It's got some really cool music. But new to the update, so this is the Modern Marvels update, and two new R4 class cars, a Subaru Impreza WRX STI and a Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution X. Also two 2000 S-Class cars, a Ford Focus RS Rally and Citroen, I'm sure I butchered that, sorry, C4 Rally. The V.2 car handling on R4, Group B, four-wheel drive, and Group A has been changed. And also some additional additions and community requests. Stage distance and elevation is now shown in stage information screen. Steering rotation in cockpit now matches actions of player when the driver's arms are not shown. Manual control for headlights and wipers, which I'm glad to see because those wipers were going off just intermittently. You know, you'd be going through dirt and they'd be going off. The timing of some of the co-drivers' calls for Finland have been adjusted, and you guys noticed that during John's test drive of that. They won't be as early in some places. Also, they've got a bit braver, so they've raised their volume a bit too. Advanced custom wheel configurations are now saving correctly, which is great to hear because there was some issues I know with the AccuForce. Animal protection services have been on the phone, so we've had to move the wildlife on some stages to safety. I love that. So there's the trailer. I'm going to let it just keep running here. I think it's going to loop for me. The mouse cursor will now hide when the mouse is not moved for a short period of time, so that's really cool. They also posted a dev diary, which I've got some footage of here, and I got a link to this in our description. So this was, I think this was episode 7 of the dev diary, and I didn't get a chance to watch it. It's about an hour long. Anyway, like I said, there's a link to it in the description here of the show. So check that out when you get a chance. So I gotta say, it's really cool seeing all these updates to Dirt Rally. You know, it's still in early access. It's at, I think the update's called 0.9. So I wonder if 1.0 is just around the corner. I think they were supposed to finish early in 2016. Maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong there, or give me maybe one of you guys know the date. I would imagine, Wim, you might know the date because you blog this stuff all the time. By the way, hey everybody. So anyway, yeah, cool that they keep updating that and adding new content. And speaking of updates, actually, I'm going to talk about quite a few updates or DLC today. And next up, we've got the game stock car update, version 1.50 that's available. Oops, I was supposed to show this first. Actually, Wim, I stole that from your site. But this is basically the same update that we were talking about a couple weeks back. And we had the beta of this, so we got a chance to try it out. Now I'm going to show you some driving. Got this video off YouTube, German YouTuber driving the Lancer around the new Velocita circuit. 2 new layouts added. This also adds the Mitsubishi Lancer Cup Series, the Lancer R and RS models, and recommended to run with traction control and ABS on low as per the real car. Features and fixes, and we talked about this, added support for 6 USB controllers, increasing from the previous limit of 3. And that was huge for Game Stock Car because you could only do 3, and I had to unplug stuff. I had my button box hooked up. You know, if you had a wheel, a separate set of pedals, and a shifter hooked up, you wouldn't be able to use it, or you wouldn't be able to use anything beyond that, I should say. So button boxes, stuff like that weren't available. You can add, or they added the option to adjust steering rotation in the garage menu and adjusted default steering lock settings to provide a suitable default steering ratio for all cars. Anyway, lots of other tweaks and updates and fixes. They provide real feel values to reduce force feedback clipping. If you're not sure what real feel is, it's basically a plugin that was added to R Factor to really enhance the force feedback, because default force feedback on R Factor was garbage. So anyway, actually hold on a second here. Let me add Ricky. I see Ricky D 1080p is in chat. Ricky, I just changed you to the moderator. So if you can moderate for me, I would greatly appreciate it. So anyway, back to Game Stock Car Extreme. It's great to see that they're continuing to update, especially since they've got that crowdfunding and lots of updates for that. So I'm assuming that that's available to the general public if you didn't opt in and help them. Because I think people that opted in and helped were getting access to the beta. I'm really looking forward to that Rallycross stuff that's coming from them. That's going to be a lot of fun. So, and sorry if I got sidetracked there. Just wanted to make sure I added Ricky as a moderator. So next up, Mazda announced its 2015 Road to 24 Shootout finalists. And basically, iRacing partnered with them, at least in some way or some form. So 9 racers were picked, and they're seeking a $100,000 Mazda scholarship for the 2016 MX-5 Cup. And this is the single largest prize in grassroots motorsports. And it was launched in 2006 as the Mazda Club Racer Shootout. And the reason why I'm telling you about this is because there's 2 iRacers that are going to be in this. And one of them reached out to me, Glenn McGee and Richard Eklund, showing you the track. They're going to be at Carolina Motorsports Park for this. It's going to be this weekend, or actually the 8th through the 10th, November 8th through the 10th. And it's, like I said, it's going to include 2 iRacing champions, Richard Eklund and Glenn McGee, as well as 7 other guys from various real-world series, NASA, SCCA, stuff like that. And basically, they're going to be judged on a variety of criteria. Or actually, the 2 iRacers were part of 10 finalists that were part of the iRacing Mazda MX-5 Cup. And the iRacers were judged on a variety of criteria, including business, marketing, and media skills. So that's how I think Glenn was like 3rd runner-up as far as the racing goes, and Richard was a little bit lower, but I guess they excelled in the other areas. But so it's going to be similar at the track. They're going to be tested on the track for their driving skills and in the garage for their technical understanding of the sport. And I've got a link to the description for more about it at MazdaMotorsports.com. You can check that out in our description. And then if you want to follow the event on Twitter, at Mazda Racing and with hashtag MRT24. So we wish Glenn and Richard major luck. That would be awesome if they actually beat the real club racers to get that scholarship. So anyway, I think that was a cool deal. I thought I'd share that with you guys. And again, follow it on Twitter if you guys want to find out what's going on with that. So next up, we've got the Project Cars Japanese car pack that just became available. Got another trailer here to watch. Love the music in these two trailers, by the way, that we showed. 6 new cars included, and one for free. The Scion FRS, which we're looking at right here, is going to be free. And I'm wondering if you just get that free no matter what without the car pack. We got the Mitsubishi Lancer Evo 11-time or 6-time TS040 Toyota. Got the Toyota 86 and GT 86. I love the names of these upcoming cars here. We got the 2015 FRS Scion FRS Rocket Bunny. And we have also got the 2015 GT86 Rocket Bunny GT Edition. So anyway, got six cars, 5 that you have to pay €349. That'd probably equate to about $450, I'm guessing, here in the States. And it's available now for the PC and the console. So yeah, pretty cool little pack there. I'd say it's an affordable price tag too for some DLC, some cool cars added to it. So we're looking at a little slideshow of these cars. So anyway, again, you can check that out. I would imagine you can get it on Steam or through the PlayStation Store or the Xbox One store. So Japanese car pack for Project Cars. Boy, it's a trip going solo without having John to bounce things off of. I got to tell you, I miss having him here. John, you're going to go solo, buddy. You're going to know what it feels like. So next up, and I got this from Bsim Racing. Thanks for this story that I'm posting here, Wim. SMOG cockpits. Interesting name. I don't know if a lot of you know what the meaning of smog is in California. Smog basically is emissions that are basically, you see a brown layer in Southern California, and we called it smog. So anyway, it's this is a cockpit, German SMOG Cockpits Company, and they're introducing the M1 racing rig. This rig is made out of little over 1-inch diameter curved steel tubes, reinforced with pre-drilled sheets of metal. Standard version includes fittings for keyboards and the most common steering wheels. A gear shifter holder and triple monitor holder for monitors up to 32 inches are optionally available. Racing seat, pedal base, and steering wheel platforms are individually adjustable. Standard rig comes in black and orange, but other colors are available at an optional cost. And prices, not cheap for this thing. €2,499, VAT is included. That's the basic. Complete SMOG M1 cockpit is €2,619. That's €2,600. The optional triple monitor holder, €399. Optional gear shift holder, €145. Optional color selection on parts and frames starting at €150. And optional color selection on frame starting at €75. And go to Wim's site, check out their official website. He's got a link there. I don't have a link. I apologize for that. Pre-orders are going to be starting. Pre-order discount will be valid until November 30th, and the production will start on December 1st. So what do you guys think about that thing? That's a pretty pricey rig. I mean, it looks a little erector set-ish with all the holes being drilled. But anyway, I mean, that's pretty good quality rig. It looks like it'd be pretty sturdy too. Okay, so winding down here, I'm going to get through this pretty quick because I want to be done within an hour. Get to Q&A here in a few too. So let's see, what do we got here? Oh, so I hooked up the damper kit on the Fanatec Clubsport V3, and I'm putting those pedals through their paces here, and I've got some footage of me, close-up footage of me driving them. So I put the damper kits, as you can see here, on the throttle and the brake. My friend Bob from Pagnian Imports, guys that sell the next level racing cockpits, the North American distributors, he told me he loved it on the throttle. And I wasn't a huge fan of it on the throttle because, and you guys can hear I'm driving the Radical in iRacing here. I think you can hear it. I think I got the volume up on it. Hopefully not too loud. But it was a little harder to blip the throttle. As you can see, I'm blipping the throttle right there. A little harder to blip the throttle with that damper kit installed. I like the damper kit on the brake, and I even adjusted the sensitivity or the stiffness out a little bit more from what you're seeing here. And so far, the brakes, in my opinion, could be a little stiffer, but I got used to them really quick. The progression feels really good. Again, I like it with the damper kit. You can set the damper from 0 to 8. Like on the back right here, there's a little knob, so you can adjust it from 0, which is basically no damper, but you can still feel it. Even with it on 0, there's still a little bit of dampening. All the way to 8. And then there's some adjustment where you can turn it as far as the throw goes and stuff like that. But again, I like it on the brake. I'm curious to hear John's opinion about it on the throttle. And it really wasn't for me, but the guy Bob at Pagnian, he told me, oh, you got to install it on the throttle. It feels awesome. I'm not a huge fan of it. Anyway, I am a fan of those pedals, though. Those pedals are friggin' sweet. And you can see I've got like the Tilton pedal pads on it, similar to the Tilton. I switched out the stocks. And I'm enjoying those pedals. I think they're really nicely built. Fanatec is working on a harder brake setting. So right now it has these things called PU foam inside that cylinder. And so that basically changes how hard or soft those pedals are. I mean, well, with those they're that way, but they're coming out with something that's one solid piece, they're telling me, that makes it a stiffer brake, and they're going to send it to me, so I'm interested in trying that. Not available to the public yet. They're still testing that out, but I like the pedals as is. I think they're a quality set of pedals, and you can definitely see where the upgrades have taken place, and I think they're about $50 more than what the V2s were going, and then these damper kits are an additional cost. So if it was me, I would just go with the brake damper kit. I would bypass the throttle. I like it I took it off, obviously. This is my throttle damper, and obviously, as you can see, I've taken it off, and I ran some laps yesterday with it off, and I liked them even better. So anyway, full review. There was a question, when you guys get to the Fanatec review? We're on it right now. I'm working on that. I've gotten most of it written. Just need to turn a few more laps with it. I want John's opinion as soon as he comes back. John will be back this weekend, so he'll be back on the show next week. So I'm going to wait until he's back to give a full review on those. I am going to do a quick piece on how to use your TH8A shifter in analog mode, so you can use it as a handbrake. I had a bunch of people asking me how to do that. I never used the driver for the TH8A or TH8A RS shifter and didn't think I needed it because it basically just acted as a button box and it always worked fine. But with that driver, you can change it over to analog mode, so basically you turn the shifter and use the neutral position in the gates as an analog. It works great as a handbrake. So I'm going to do a quick video on that. And so next up, I'm going to do a unboxing. And this is from Bowden Solutions. I think I got that right, John. If you're watching, I apologize. John Bowden. I apologize if I didn't get it right. So this is a load cell kit. Let me take out the instructions here. This is a load cell kit for the T3 PA pedals, not the Pros, because he already makes one for the Pros and the T500s. But this is for the T3 PA, the basic T3 PA pedals. So he's looking at getting these out to you guys for about $100. So that would put the price of T3PA pedals at about $200. Looks like it comes with a bolt and a washer there and an extra cable probably, because this is like a bypass, so you'll plug your pedals into here and then you plug this into your wheel. So anyway, like I said, he's going to try to, the price isn't for sure yet. He doesn't have them available. This is still like a prototype. It may be similar to the final version, or may be the final version as long as I don't have any problems. So basically this is going to mount behind. So do I have a set around here? No, they're way over there besides my little chocolate down there. Chocolate lab. So anyway, this will sit behind the pedal, and then you're going to basically, actually I think it goes this way. So you're going to basically push up against this rubber. This is the load cell right here. So anyway, we're going to be trying that out soon here on the show. And just wanted to unbox it. Came very nicely packaged. Came with some installation instructions, which look very basic. You guys can see that there. The BLC T3PA load cell by Bowden Solutions. So anyway, we're gonna be getting that. We're gonna be getting that soon. My wife's in the house. Everybody say hi to Andrea Lopez. Andrea, my wife, you need to change your name on here, by the way. She says, "Go Bobcats." It's my daughter's volleyball team. They just finished their last game last night. Small school in Nebraska, if you're curious. All right, so that's going to wrap up the news. Going to get to Q&A, and we're going to start with a question that came, I think it was via Facebook. I'm almost positive here. Let me scroll to it. Andrew Mosley. Actually, he asked 3 different questions, and one of them is based on something he heard us talk about last week. We were talking about TV versus monitors, and that's right, Mrs. Ganji's in the house. Behave. So Andrew asks, if you got, and he's quoting us here, if you've got a friend gaming on a TV, let them know. So he's asking, let them know what specifically? I think John was saying, let them know to make sure that their TV is set on gaming mode, that you don't have any extra, I can't even think of the name of it right now, but any extra things to enhance, like flicker free. Anyway, there's a bunch of different settings on one of the TVs we had here. I did a piece on it a few weeks back. And if it has a gaming mode, put it to gaming mode, because basically what can happen is you can get input lag. So then he asks, or he says he's on a 40-inch TV and he's thinking about saving for a monitor. He's got a pretty nice setup, 80/20 rig, AccuForce on the way, and he wonders if he's almost cheating himself with all of that and just a TV. I'd say that you are. I'd say TVs, first of all, TVs, even though they say they may be 120 hertz, or their refresh rate may be 120, I have one that says it was 120. We can't get it to run over 60. I think they do something, they fake it somehow. Rampage, I'll get to your question. I've got it down there. I got it as one of our questions to ask. So, and he's asking if he should go all out with a G-Sync 144 hertz. And matter of fact, I was just pricing them for a friend of mine, and you can get a 27-inch 144 hertz. I'd say I think the lowest you can get is about $300, and they go all the way up to about $500-600. And then if you've seen John's 35-inch BenQ curved screens, those are, I saw them on Newegg for $8.99. You may want to consider going with a monitor like that. Save up and get something like that. That one 35-inch curved screen, in my opinion, is enough. And then he's asking, so 80 to 90 frames a second over 60 frames a second really worth $800+? Well, you don't have to go that expensive like I just said, but yes, besides minimizing input lag, everything just seems to flow, just to be more fluid, I guess is the best way to put it. There's just no flickering or stuttering. I run over 120 frames a second. I try to keep it to where my system will always be above that. I mean, some guys have asked, you're running like 200-300 frames a second. Yeah, and I'll get some tearing and I'll deal with the tearing. You know, I'll sacrifice having tearing to have a stutter-free, very fluid, input lag-free experience. I'll answer your question quickly, Ricky. If I get it, yes. I don't know. We got so many other things. He's asking if we're going to review Need for Speed. You can see chat. See right here? No, right there. You guys are all right here in chat. Tried to add a little contrast to it, make it a little easier to see. Anyway, probably not going to review that. So Andrew also had 2 more questions. He said, where could you see Sim Experience going next? Could you see them doing something else revolutionary in pedals or an H shifter perhaps? I don't know. I mean, I talked to them quite a bit, and I know they do have some stuff in the works. Can't say what. But as far as going with pedals, shifters, sure, I'd see them going more towards the pedal route, even though I think the pedal market is flooded right now with all the different manufacturers of high-end pedals. Plus, like you just saw those Club Sports, those things are, actually let's show those again really quick. These things are pretty badass. You know, for $300, that's a pretty high quality set of pedals. So anyway, I don't know if they're going to go that route, but I know they do have some stuff in the works, and they will be doing some innovative stuff. So keep your eye on Sim Experience, and as soon as we find out about anything that's coming, we'll let you guys know. And then his last question was, is motion the force feedback of the future? I don't know. I wouldn't really call it the force. I think it's a great addition to force feedback. Is it the force feedback of the future? Lots of different motion platforms coming out, and variety of different types of motion. You know, there's that Pagnian Next Level motion platform we reviewed, the Stage 1 starting, you know, for Sim Experience. There's that Gecko seat that's out. So is it the next force feedback or the force feedback of the future? I don't know. I think it can really enhance your experience as long as it's done right. I don't like to be thrown all over the place. People say, well, with the seat movers, you know, everything else isn't moving. And honestly, I kind of like that. You know, I was in the everything else isn't moving boat until I really, you know, sat and tweaked that Pagnian Next Level motion platform, and I enjoyed it. If you haven't done right, it can really enhance your experience. RGF 543 before the show started asked, and a guy named Paul actually answered him, and I agree with his answer 100%, and I'm just going to reiterate it right here. Is Project Cars worth the money, considering it has fake cars, and I heard the visuals are bad? First of all, I think every car in Project Cars is licensed. Maybe he meant fake tracks. Actually, let me copy and paste. So by myself, I got to stay on top of things here, and so I don't miss some of your guys' questions. Actually, I'll get to in-chat questions here in a minute too, but I wanted to copy that one. I saw a good one. So anyway, I think it's worth the money. As far as I know, there's no fake cars in Project Cars. Again, I think there's some tracks that are not licensed, so they're named something else, and I don't think the visuals are bad. I think they're really good. So yes, I think it's well worth the money, and I think it's a great addition to anybody's sim racing library. And I would say it's more of a sim title versus arcade. I don't even think it's really simcade. There's a few cade things, like you can't drive yourself throughout the pits, so it's controlled by AI. But anyway. His next question, RGF543, asks, Mad Cat says on the box that you can remove the standard rim for future updates. I was wondering if you heard anything about upgrades. Mad Cat's also said that wheel was going to be available to use on the PC, and they never came out with a driver. So, you know what? I don't know. I'd say if the price came down on that wheel, I'd honestly put that wheel in the same category as a Thrustmaster T150. It feels really similar. Gear, maybe it's a hybrid gear belt system, but $400 is a lot for that wheel. So I have not heard anything about the upgrades for that. And then his last question was, I know Darin did a wheel setup video for Forza 5, but will you also do one for F1 2015? Possibly. We've got to get to F1 2015. We're hoping to get to a lot of stuff. Yes, I will, Richard. He was asking if I'd check the review at Inside Sim Racing TV inbox. Anyway, when we get to that, we'll probably do a wheel setup. We're trying to get to, what I was saying was, we're trying to get to everything before the end of the year. John's leaving again. Man, this guy's on vacation more than he's here. Just kidding. Just kidding, John. But anyway, John's leaving, and I might as well let you guys know now. John's leaving for 3 weeks in December, and we're probably going to go on hiatus for those 3 weeks. I need a break. John's going to be taking a break. We got the holidays. So we might have some content that comes out during that period, but for the most part, we're gonna take a break and then hit the ground running come January 1st. Rampage asks, any news on new Fanatec wheel coming out? Wonder if I should wait or not before buying a Thrustmaster. Now, that's a great question. Now, if you go to Fanatec's site, they don't have any of their low-end wheels available anymore. The GT2 is not available, the GT3, the CSR. All the low-end wheels are no longer available at Fanatec's site, so it seems like they're up to something. I personally have not heard anything, but that is a great question. And then Skyjuice asks, Darin, is there any other brake mods for the original T300 base 2-pedal set? There gotta be. No, there isn't. Because I think a lot of people just either upgraded to the T3PAs or the T3PA Pros, or if you're on the PC, they're using like a set of Club Sports or something else. So just that cheap a Shasha. Actually, there was a couple others. If you go to our forums under Thrustmaster modifications, there was some guys that did some other things, but nothing that's on the market. Now I'm going to start taking some questions directly from chat, so I'm now caught up with you guys. Let's see here. Jamal Gandor asks, is there any discounts provided with the recommendation of ISR TV to someone to buy Fanatec gear? Nope, sorry, we don't have any of those. Let's see here. Man, I'm already at half an hour. I'm going to probably wrap it up even earlier. It's definitely hard without John here. I already said that once. Okay, Robert Erling asks, do you know something about the new version 2 of the Sim Instruments Dash? Are you getting one for review in the future? And have you heard anything from the guys? Because they are fairly quiet. No, as a matter of fact, they've had that Dash in development for a while. I love my Sim Instruments Dash, by the way. I've been using it for, man, over a year, and it's been on my rig. I haven't taken it off. That's a great question. They've been talking about having that in development for a long time. I don't even know if they even have the old one for sale anymore because of that. And yes, they have been quiet. And thank you guys. Yes, Wim, family time, important. And man, we're starting to get snow in the mountains. I'm going snow skiing. At least I'm hoping to during that time. So, Richard Gore asks, any news on getting someone from iRacing on the show? Yes, Tony Gardner said he would come on the show, and we will announce that in advance and have him on live. We need to work out all the glitches and bugs we've had with having people on live. And the reason why that's happening is because this camera is going through a capture card, which creates a delay. So if you watch the show where I had Andreas Nee on the show via Skype, and he was ahead of me, it's because Skype was coming in direct into the PC, and this camera was through the capture card on like almost a second delay. So we need to work out that bug. We were going to do John on the show today via Skype, but I just got wrapped up in other stuff and getting ready for winter. Just had to take my boat in, get it winterized, and getting a carport built in the backyard. Anyway, so let's see what else we got here. So I'm going to get... So what did you think of the GP track in Mexico? I actually drove it in F1 2015, and I'll agree with Apex Shaver. I liked it a lot. It's a fun track, and I think it's Hermanos Rodriguez. I think that's a track that they've basically upgraded. It was great to see. There was over 100,000 fans there in Mexico to watch that race. Another snooze fest of a race, in my opinion. And I say that because Mercedes, you know, I just hate it when one car or one team just dominates any series. It's, you know, I'm honestly enjoying NASCAR again with all the drama that's been going on. Anybody watch that race where Matt Kenseth took out Logano last weekend and Jeff Gordon won? Well, you know, his last season he won that race. That was friggin' awesome. But Ricky asking, are you getting a Sim Hardware G4 screen review? Hey, Rick, you're sponsored by them. Maybe you should ask them for me. Anyway, I asked them, and they said that they would like to get us one. It's just been a really popular item, and they've been having a hard time keeping it on the shelf. So they do want to get us one, though. So that's a great question. Let's see what else we got here. Ryan Ost asks, I have a CSR wheel, don't know what to upgrade to. Any suggestions? Really depends on your budget and what you want to run on. If you're looking to run on the Xbox One, I'm looking at Time Runner's question. Darin's favorite Mercedes show again. So it depends on the system that you're trying to run on and your budget, really. And I'm sure some guys could chime in here in the chat. But if you're going for the Xbox One, I would go with the Thrustmaster TX. If you have an unlimited budget, I would go with the Fanatec CSW V2 with the Xbox One hub, and then you can use it on the PS4, the Xbox One, I think the PS3, I'm not sure, but then the PC for sure too. So again, it really depends on your budget. Come to our forums, ask that question, isrtv.com/forums, and you know, lots of guys there will help you, and girls will help you guys answer that question too. Let's see what else we got here, man. And my boy is being really good. I'm so proud of him. Maybe I'll get him up here before the end of the show. You guys can say hi. So Ryan was also asking, can a GTX 960 run iRacing? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, man, you can run iRacing on much older cards. So anyway, yeah, I think you might be able to even do it in triples. As a matter of fact, John is in touch with EVGA right now and getting us a 970 to run his 35-inch BenQs. And maybe you guys can help out. Does a 970? John was saying it's more powerful than my 780. But does a 970 have 3 display ports? That's one of the issues that we're having, to be able to run 144 hertz across all 3 screens. So anyway, is Dirt Rally worth getting? SMTH better than G27? I think there's a little lost in translation there. Dirt Rally is worth getting no matter what wheel you have, in my opinion. It just keeps belly rub inbound, Russell. Anyway, Dirt Rally just keeps getting better. We just talked about the update at the top of the show. Yes, Carl, his name is Charlie, like Charlie Brown. So, yeah, man, he is out for the count down there. Yeah, Time Runner. I told John, you know, see if we can get something a little bit better, but a 980 would be the way to go, in my opinion, too. So someone's saying, I think EVGA SSC has 3 display ports. So anyway, we're hoping to get that. So I'm running out of questions, guys. Give me some more questions, and we're going to wrap things up. Nope, not going to review the Proto SimTech pedals. Honestly, I'm just going to be blunt about it. That guy just was kind of shady to me. He promoted those pedals through our forums for about a year. We promoted them through our blog during that time, and then all of a sudden, come time to send me a set of pedals, he said I was, what was the word he said? Told me that I was, I don't know. Basically, I was asking that I was harassing him. That was the word. So no, absolutely not going to review those, even if he sent them to us now. The guy's on my S list. So let's see. So Van Westfalton, last week I asked for the flex for the play seat. Is it a good idea to change to a race room seat? From what I remember, the race room seat was good. I personally like the GT Ultimate is a good cockpit. I mean, that's a little bit higher price, a lot higher price actually. We're going to review the GT Omega Art cockpit, and that's like right around €300-400, and that's a quality setup. The GT Omega Pro is a quality setup. So anyway, it's that's my take. But yeah, from what I remember, the race room chassis was a good quality setup. Robert Erling asks, question, I can get SimVibe and SimDash to work together in Dirt Rally. I can't get. The reason is that they each need their own hardware setting in the Dirt Rally config XML file. Difficult question, I know. I had them both working. I think what you need to do in Sim Commander is do the port forwarding. The port forwarding, there's a setting that you can forward ports to different peripherals. So I think you need to do that to get it to work. I would go to the Owners Club forum to ask just to be sure, but I got it all to work. So let's see what else here. Oh, somebody says the race room seat sucks. Flex without end. I just remember. We're going to review the Fanatec cockpit. Yeah, I talked to them. They said they wanted to send us one. I think they were doing some updates to it. So hopefully we will be. Richard Ertz asks, please check email later for review at Inside Sim Racing. And I will. So it forwards to my email address, my regular email addresses. So if you sent something to it, I will. And Richard, you're making fun of me. I just saw that. Anyway, where was I? I got sidetracked. Oh, I will check that email. Let's see what else. You know what? I'm just going to address this right now since I'm by myself. Apex Shaver is asking about Sean. And if you're wondering why Sean's name will not show up in chat, it's because his name has been, and just because I was just getting so much crap about when he left, that his name is filtered. So you're not going to be able to see. So, and I've already addressed this numerous times. This is the absolute last time I'm going to address it. But he's asking, how is your relationship with Sean, your old buddy? Well, Sean and I are no longer buddies. And the reason why is about 2 years ago, right around Christmas, he just up and left without telling me. Moved back to California, and we had an argument before that. Nothing, I would say that isn't normal for two guys that spend a lot of time together, both as business partners and friends. And he packed up and left without me even knowing. He was already back in California before I knew it. So, unless he reaches out to me with a huge apology, I don't see us ever being friends again or ever talking again. It's a shame. We were best friends. It sucks that it all happened. It took me a long time to get over that. That was a major punch in the gut. But I mean, the good thing about it is I got to keep Inside Sim Racing. He ended up taking a bunch of my personal property and stuff that went along with the company. But anyway, that's water under the bridge. I'm not going to mention it again. It comes up quite a bit here in the chat, and I thought I would just address it. I can see it because I'm the moderator or the admin in this channel. But anyway, yes, and he's got his own channel, The Sim Pit. Feel free to go watch it. Anyway, so let's move on here. Yes, it is too bad. I was going to comment on what you said, Wim, but it's a little PG-13 to R-rated. The 599, he doesn't use gloves with the 599 Alcantara rim because, and you can read his, you might have seen his comment here in chat here. I don't like using it either. I don't like using gloves with the Alcantara because the Alcantara just feels so friggin' awesome. So let's see what else. And hey, guys, you're apologizing for asking. You know what? Don't worry about it. It's good to for me to get it off my chest. Again, it sucks that it happened. Sean and I were great friends. Sean was somebody I thought I was going to be friends with for the rest of my life. So, needless to say, that is not happening. So, anyway, James Hoke asked, does Ricmotech have an adapter for the Fanatec pedals to work with the T300 on the PS4? No, but if you go to basherboards.com, he's got an adapter called the CPX. And John, I think his name is John Gage, at Basherboards, had a kid probably within the last year or so, and he kind of put Basherboards business on the back burner, on the side burner, I should say. So it could be months wait to get that adapter, but as far as I know, he's the only game in town. Somebody else should come out with an adapter because his is hard to get from what I understand. So, take a couple more questions. I'm going to wrap things up here. And Rampage asks, why are there no cheap desk mount handbrakes on the market? Cheapest things are using shifters as a handbrake. Matter of fact, Rampage, I'm going to do a piece on that. And the cheapest one you could probably get is the Thrustmaster. You can get another. So if you have a Thrustmaster shifter, you want to use it in sequential. And then you can get another Thrustmaster TH8A or TH8A RS. And you can use the gate, the neutral in the gate, turn the shifter, the whole plate on the top turns, and you can use that neutral position as a handbrake. And it works great. It works as an analog shifter. So, Ditch 14, how do you feel about dirt track racing and sim racing, Darin? I love any dirt racing, to be honest. I love going sideways. I would love to see more of it. I'd love to see something more current on the dirt track racing side. Everybody asks about when's dirt coming to iRacing. I would love to see that. There's some great stuff for R Factor, the original R Factor. I would love to see ported over to R Factor 2. R Factor was the dirt king for the longest time. There was lots of great off-road mods for that title. I would love to see the ISI guys come out with a full pack. I would love to see like a Baja track, to do like a Baja 1000 endurance race where you share the truck or the buggy. Man, that would be friggin' sweet. So let's see what else we got here. And I'm going to wrap things up, then I'll see if I can bring my sleepy boy up here. I'm going to take 2 more questions if I can find. Okay, Zach Horgan asks, are 22-inch monitors too small for triple screens? I'm tight for space but want the immersion, especially for drifting. I think that's what I'm running. I'm running 22s, and if you think about it, 22 times 3 is 66. So that's a lot of screen space. And honestly, when you got it spread out that far, you kind of forget how small they are. Sure, I'd love to have 27s or even John's bat, or you literally sit in John's setup with that wraparound and you get an echo, like a tunnel echo. But 22s I think are fine, especially if you're on a budget and you're tight on space. I would go for it. Raul Daniel, is a 750 Ti enough for 720p high graphics sim racing? Probably depends on the title. I would say yes, it is. It also depends on your processor and your PC speed. I'm going to take 2 more questions here because I'm getting a few more here. Silver Fire asks, Darin, can you explain what the field of view settings in game does and how to tune it for best effect? There's a few things that you can tune. You can tune the field of view, which basically changes, basically where you're sitting, where your car is sitting in the world space. And then you can adjust the seat position a lot of times in titles, forward, back, up, down. For me, I don't use any kind of calculators or measurements or anything like that. I kind of just go for what feels right, what feels the most realistic. And yes, it can make a huge difference. Like, we talked about the field of view in Forza being like you're sitting in the back seat, and it's harder to drive a car when you're using that field of view. It's harder to sense how that car is reacting versus when you're looking out like the windshield. So it can make a huge difference. One more question, and Victor Nobre asks, hey, Darin, do you think iRacing will have a system like safety rating and iRating for online racing? What do you mean? They already do. Do you think, maybe you meant another title. Anyway, maybe one more. Oh, yeah, here's one. Flying Dutchman. Hey, any word on when GT Omega will have their US distributor live? Sorry if you've already covered it. I don't think we've covered it, but it is live. If you go to gtomegaracing.com, up in the right corner, there's a bunch of flags. Just click on the US flag, and it'll take you to their site, their US site. Now, they're limited on stock there. They have the chairs at the US site, and they have the Art cockpit, and I believe the wheel stand, but they do not have the Pro cockpits yet. And as far as I know, they are going to be getting them. But that site is live. So anyway, going to wrap things up here. I need to move my table. Let's see if I can get Charlie. Hey, Charlie, come on, wake up. Say hi to everybody. Come here, boy. Come on. Charlie, come here. Come here. He's sleepyhead. He's sleepy boy right now. Yeah. Say hi to everybody, Charlie. So that's going to wrap up the show for today. Charlie's going to give me love. He's half asleep. Yeah, you give me lots of kisses, yeah. You were a good boy. Yes, you were. You was a good boy for this show. I appreciate it. Thank you, pal. So So anyway, there's Charlie, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe to us here on the channel. We'd really appreciate it. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Join us in our brand new forums. We've got new themes in our forums, and it's all working really well now, and I really like the new forums. So anyway, thanks for your patience, everybody, and thanks for watching. And that's going to wrap things up, and we'll see you guys next time.